Take it out, please. Hello. Hello. We are kicking off right away. Third annual memorial lecture. Now we want everybody now to get seated so that the program can start in earnest. Distinguished gentlemen, Koreans, both past and present, it's my honor now to call on a Korean Adebisi Adekeye to give us the opening prayer.
Let's pray. O God of our Father, Reverend Euba, we have come to praise Thee today for giving us the grace to witness today, and even for another Founders Day of Eko Boys High School, which is the third Reverend Euba's lecture, memorial lecture. We thank you, Lord. Accept our thanks in Jesus' name. As we have gathered to commence this program, Father, come and be with us. Guide us. All what we will be doing, through in Jesus Christ's name. Thank you.
Thank you, Korean Adekeye. We'll stand up now in reverence to the national anthem of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Thank you all. We remain standing, please, for the Eco Boys High School anthem. I'm sure we can all sing that. The first stanza and the last stanza, please. 1, 2, 3, go. High school. It was Reverend Euba, principal which was high school, was he for me? Methodist Westland Boys School for 10 and 7 years. Was faithful, Elijah so much to fall. God of robots and Euba, praying that this smoldering ember of Eco Boys may by the infant forever dying flame. Feed the most forever shouting a song. Confidimos shall remain forevermore the motor of Eco Boys High School. Up school. Thank you all. Once again, you are welcome. To the third Reverend Euba Memorial Lecture. We thank God that we all witnessing the occasion again this new year 2025. We move on quickly to now gracefully invite to the podium the following distinguished guests. It's my honor and privilege to welcome to the high table the national president of Eco Boys High School Old Boys Association in the person of Ekorian Odofin Kayode Olawunmi Elliot. You're welcome, sir. Confidimos. I also want to call on the chairman of this occasion, the well-respected grandson of the second principal of this our highly esteemed school, in the person, with the second principal of this school, the one we just sang in the second stanza of this two song. We all know or should remember or should recollect Reverend Roberts, is the second in command to our great founder, Reverend Euba. So, distinguished gentlemen, I have the honor and privilege to welcome to the high table Reverend Ekorian Ayodeji Roberts.
Indomino
Demons. On your behalf, I will also invite and welcome to the high table Dr. Kolawole Ibiroba is a member of POT of Eko Boys High School Old Boys Association. Good morning, sir. Proceeding forward, I will invite the main lecturer, speaker for today, for this year's lecture, in the person of Chief Superintendent of Police, Oga Charles Akinrosoye. You're welcome, sir. That applause is too weak for somebody who took time off his busy schedule today. I will gracefully hand over the proceeding of the day to the president, national president of Eko Boys High School Old Boys Association, who will take it up from here. Thank you.
In Domino, good morning, Happy New Year to you all. I want to use this opportunity to welcome you all to the third Reverend Euba Memorial Lecture. The chairman of this occasion, members of the BOT here present, the principal of the school, service club members, Ekorians, ladies and gentlemen. Let me, on behalf of myself and the National Executive Committee of Eko Boys High School Boys Association, express heartiest congratulations to the entire members of Ekoba, students, teaching and non-teaching staff of EBHS on the occasion of the 112th Founders Day anniversary celebration of Eko Boys High School, as well as the third Reverend Euba Memorial Lecture. The topic for today is advancement in policing, roles of citizens in community policing and protection. We have a seasoned police officer who is going to break this down for us today, and we also have a panelist that are also going to discuss on community policing, how it affects our community here in Mushin. Let's listen attentively. The moderator for today is the immediate past president of Old Boys Association, in person of Mr. Bola Fashino, a seasoned journalist. So let's listen attentively as we go into today's lecture. Thank you. God bless.
Gentlemen and our mommy, we now gracefully invite to the rostrum Chief Superintendent of Police Charles Akinrosoye to deliver the main lecture for this year. CSP, sir.
Hello. Hello. I am really humbled to be in your midst this morning. But let me start by saying this, sir. It is my great pleasure to be here this morning, to be in your midst. And why is it my great pleasure? I want to, first of all, appreciate, without taking this for granted, the privilege to be called to deliver this lecture. And I'm appreciating this in three folds. Let me first of all state this categorically. I've been here since 8:30 or thereabout. And I met my boss, my mentor, who is one of the shining stars that when we were growing, we were looking at him as worthy of emulation. And when I'm bringing it, I could see the relationship between you and the man I'm talking about. And I could see that, in spite of that he chose a police as a profession, yet it's not being despised, it's not being discriminated against in his circle. I want to appreciate this. And it's no other person than retired AIG James Tunji Kokri. So God will keep you. You will still remain a shining star to the end. And the second aspect is my immediate boss, who just retired, who's also a product of this school. And you know, while I was seated there, I even listened to the music here. And I had his name being mentioned as part of the Ekorian. And that is no other person also than retired CP Abiodun Alamutu Mustafa. Who incidentally was supposed to be the speaker for this year. But because he has just retired and he has traveled out, that was why he gave the assignment to me. And on the final note, I want to appreciate the fact that, yes, probably you gave that assignment to him because it's been part of you. You know him very well, just like I know him. You know who he is, you know what he stands for, and you just felt that he's the appropriate person to do that. But when he now called and said he will not be able to do it and that one of his boys will be coming to you, you didn't object to that. Especially you've not met me. I think the only person who could probably say something about me is my boss, the retired AIG, who was my national, just to say it again, he was my national coordinator as Christian Police Fellowship when I was part of the executive then, before he retired. That's why I said he's been a shining star to us. But yet, you have accepted me, accommodated me that, okay, let that CSP, that ordinary CSP, let him come and deliver it. You didn't say he's not a commissioner of police. Neither is he an assistant inspector general of police. So I want to appreciate you all, sir. And I'm not taking this for granted. For the privilege to be here. Sir, having said that, I want to end that appreciation on this note. That each time I see people, particularly highly placed, who still reckon with police, I see it as a privilege. I will tell you this. When I was in Kwara State as OC Liga, I will not mention his name, but one of our one-time Senate president said it to my CP, who eventually retired as DIG, Peter Ghana, when he came to Ilorin, and the CP was now complaining that police is not being treated well. You know what he said to my chagrin? I was there. He said, CP, if not that there's no country in the whole world where police has been totally scrapped. He said the mind of the government is even to scrap police. And that was from the Senate president. So now look at it, that if the Senate president could be saying that, then how much more citizens who are even once in a while victims of our misconduct, but yet you still thought it worthwhile to see us as your ally and to say we want a police officer to come and tell us what should be our role in their duties to help them. I want to appreciate that also. And please, I want you to give a round of applause to yourself for that. That you still see us as a good ally that you can partner with and that you can work with. Thank you very much. Now, the lecture of this year, sir, is advancement in policing. Advancement in policing. The role of citizens. I think the paper has been sent before now. The role of citizens. And I want to start on this note that it is apposite to state that this topic is apt. Why is it apt? It is apt because we are in a time that the state of insecurity globally is becoming worrisome. Worrisome, and it seems that all solutions, all policies, either at the national, international level, the national level, the state level, local government level, has proved ineffective. And yet, we are all expecting, as human beings, we are expecting police to provide the needed magic. The needed what? Magic. And that's why it is right that we should discuss it, so that we all know what has made that security elusive and mirage. And having stated this, I may not be reading once in a while. I think it's now pertinent that we should even know what is the word police, so that we will know whether it is just police officers, members of the police, that should perform that duty, or that it is every one of us as citizens, as human creatures, that should perform that. Police, the word police has been defined as the civil force of any nation that is responsible for maintenance of public order. Maintenance of public order. Please note that word, civil force. The word civil means that, if you want me to use literal interpretation, I said that my CV is not relevant, but I want to state clearly, sir. By His grace, I'm a lawyer, not just a police officer. And I've been OC leaders in so many commands. So when I mean civil, I think that does not mean it's only officers who are in uniform. Let's start from that point. It is not officers who are in uniform alone. That is expected to perform police duty. And that also leads to the commission of London Metropolitan Police in 1829 outlines the functions of police. And let me quickly run through this briefly. The first one is in his postulations. He said, protection of life and property. Protection of life and property. Number 2, prevention and detection of crime. And then number 3, preservation of order. Number 4 is prosecution of offenders against peace. Please underline that word. Let's underline that word, peace. Offenders against peace. It didn't say offenders against law. So what that simply suggests to me is that not just a man or a woman who has violated the law, but who through his action or inaction has caused the peace of that community to cease. And I'm sure that it is not only police officers who want peace. We all want peace. So it's not just police officer that should be concerned about an offender who has breached the peace of a community or a society or a nation. That's why the Commissioner of London Metropolitan Police did not postulate that the prosecution of offender against law. He said offender against peace. Which means it should be the concern of every one of us to see that peace reigns in our community. And Section 214 of our own ground norm, which is the Constitution, provides for the establishment of police force. And the Section 214 subsection 1 says there shall be a police force that shall be known as Nigerian Police Force, and that no other police force shall be for the federation or any part thereof. That is why we are still battling the creation of, for many of us who are interested in creation of state police, and we thought it's just something that will just be established. It's not just immediate, because this law, this extant provision of the Constitution has made it clearly that until it's either varied or repealed, there can be another police force. That's why it requires legislative proceedings for such police force to be established. And that's why it's still at the National Assembly and probably at some state houses of assembly, because that constitution is still extant. And the subsection 2B also states that the members of the Nigerian Police Force shall be empowered and be conferred with duty as provided by this law. And ancillary to that is our own Police Act, Section 4, that provides for the functions of police duties, functions of police and the powers. And let me quickly run through that. Please permit me, let me use the Police Act so that, because what I did is concise, but so that it's just source it. But I want it clearer to us so that you know what we're talking about, the issue of advancement or not. Because if the topic for this year is knowing our duties, then we should know it. Say, the little I know about the Bible, which is my faith, says, whatever your hand finds to do, do it with all your strength. So if we are going to play our roles, we should know why we want to play our roles. And we should know what are those rules. Section 4 of Police Act 2020 states primary functions of the police force. And it says the police force shall, 1, prevent and detect crimes and protect the rights and freedom of every person in Nigeria as provided in the Constitution, the African Charter, blah, blah, all this. Then, 2, maintain public safety, law, and order. Maintain public safety, law, and order. Protect the lives and property of all persons in Nigeria. Enforce all laws and regulations without any prejudice. No, without any prejudice. Then discharge such duties within and outside Nigeria as may be conferred on it. The next one is collaborate. Please note this word. Collaborate with other agents to take necessary actions and provide the required assistance or support to persons in distress, including victims and road accidents, fire, disasters, earthquakes, and floods. You can see that this is our own law that we formulate to incorporate the public. The next one is facilitate the free passage and movement of highways, roads, and the next one is adopt community partnership in the discharge of its responsibility under this act or under any other law, and to act to vet and approve the registration of private detective schools and private investigative outfits. That's our law, which is meant to encompass partnership. Then, having stated that, let me go to the next. That having stated the above mentioned duties, the Nigerian police, in tandem with the global practice of policing, the late Inspector General of Police, IGP Balogun, postulated 8 points agenda. 8 points agenda is policy then for policing, and part of it is efforts. Because of time, I want to efforts to achieve cooperation and partnership with the public, and this is what gave back to the concept of community-based policing, now coined as community policing. Community-based policing, now coined as community policing. I think with this, then what should agitate our minds next is that, what is this community policing? If it has become our policy that our policing should be community-based, then what is that community policing? Community policing is a philosophy of policing that guides police management styles. 1, policies. 2, strategies. 3, and also provides for cooperation and partnership with communities. In a way that it will be a problem-solving policing. Please, sir, ma, note that my word. A problem-solving, not a problem-creating policing. Problem-solving, not a problem-creating. And what does that presuppose? That presupposes that any day, any minute, any second, any hour, a policeman, because we don't have policewomen, a police officer sets out on his duty as a police officer. What should be in his mind is that I am going out to solve problems. I am going out to solve problems. I am not going out to create problems. I am going out to provide solutions to problems of people. I am not going out to be a body, rather I am going out to be an asset. I am going out to be a friend. Like my Bible tells me. Sorry that once in a while I may be quoting that, because that is part of what I do. In Proverbs 18, verse 25 says, a friend who has friends must first of all show himself friendly. You know you have a friend, you have more, you must first of all show yourself friendly. There is a friend that's sticketh closer than a brother. That's sticketh closer than a brother. Sir, in my community, I've been married for a while, but by virtue of my job, I've only lived with my family for just 3 years. That's sleeping and waking up every day with my family. And that was when I was OC Legal Alagbon. I've been outside Lagos. But yet I have neighbors who take care of my family, who sees my family as part of them. If I've not been friendly to them, we've not been having that relationship, they will not be there for me. They will be telling my wife and my children, call your dad in Kebbi. Call your husband to come and help you. And that may not be possible, because before I run down to Lagos, I'm sure the damage would have been done. So, it's community policing is a philosophy that guides management styles, policies, strategies, operational performance. It requires active partnership between the police and the community. Also ensures that police view their primary role as the provision of quality service to the community, compelling the police to adopt a problem-solving approach to their operations and involve the public in deciding policing priorities. Policing priorities. So let me also probably elaborate on this issue of deciding policing priorities. So in Ogun State, for instance, the common crimes there, because you know Ogun State pride herself as the state that has the greatest number of institutions. That has not been disputed any day. And what that means is that courtesan is a menace in Ogun State. Land grabbing is also a menace in Ogun State. At a point in time, rape, defilement, but we've tackled that headlong. And by His grace also, we've been able to tackle courtesan to barrest. But I am not too sure that those common crimes in Ogun are the same in Lagos. I don't think courtesan is so high in Lagos. I don't think land grabbing is so high in Lagos because I'm aware that many of the land grabbers in Lagos have been chased out of Lagos. They've been flushed out of Lagos. And you know, Ogun is the next, is the closest. So they thought they would have that safe heavens in Ogun. But we're also telling them that no, we will not allow you to come and turn our area to your safe heavens. What I'm saying by this is that what should be the concern of police in Ogun based on the prevalent crimes there will be totally different from what should be the concerns of police officers in Lagos. So every state has its peculiarity. And the only way to know that is that feedbacks from that's why that says police priorities, policing priorities must be determined with the involvement of the community. You are the ones who will come and tell police that this is what is prevalent in our community. So that police will now strategize and know what to do about that. Sorry. I think I will be a bit fast now. Then that leads us to community policing. What informed community policing? The choice of community policing. What led to this is that because after going through analyzing these functions, successive police authorities now propounded these core values. I call it core values of community policing. And what are those core values? One is respect for and protection of human rights. Number two, transparency and openness in relation to activities and relationships inside and outside the police organization. Number three, demonstrable commitment at all times. At all times. I say it with emphasis. To deliver the best possible policing service. Please permit me to explain this also. That word best possible. Because that word best possible is used because, let me say this without mincing words. A man, by our nature, would only be able to perform as far as his power, as far as the tools, as far as the laws guiding his operation. It's only God that is illimitable. It's only God, no man. That's why many a times some of us get discouraged when you see a policeman. When I was a young officer as ASP, there was a day one of our junior officers was tried. Why was he tried? He was tried by one of our mothers. No, was tried in the room. And you know what? Mama Debanjo just walked in and said, "What has this corporal done?" They said the corporal ran away when he had the sound of gun. When he had the sound of gun, you know what Mama did? Mama just pretended as if she didn't even hear what they were saying. Mama just went and moved. Suddenly, we just had the sound of gun. Boom! We just had the sound of gun. Boom! the adjudicating officer and all of us scamper for safety. That's in police office. Oh, in police office, not outside. My man now say, why are you running? When you heard the sound of gun in your compound, you are now trying a boy who was posted and had the sound of gun in the midnight. And you didn't expect him to first of all meditate before responding. He said, put yourself in his shoe. Put yourself. That was how that boy was acquitted. Because of the intervention of that. That's why we see some of us. I'm sure Oga will also know that it's one of our mothers that we respect it tomorrow. So please, that's why I say within possible. Then, let me now go to principles because of time. Having stated the core values, however, it is pertinent to state that security, as sacrosanct as it is, should not be left solely in the hands of the government, because it is a truism that a society gets whatever kind of police that society craves for. The above postulation is hinged on the following indubitable facts, such as: 1, the police personnel are products of the same society. Please, daddy and mommy, because I've had it in so many fora, and I've said this, sir, as bad as police is perceived to be in the public, police is see. I am not here as PPRO, and my God know who I am. I'll say it the way it is. Police is one of the self-cleansing organization in this country. Self-cleansing organization in this country. As I speak with you, we have not less than 7 of our police officers who are in prisons in Ogun State. They are in prison because they violated the law, and we dismiss them, arraign them in the court. I don't know of any organization that is doing that in this country. Most times, what we do, what others do, is that they will just sweep it under the carpet. Sweep it under the carpet and wish it away. But once you violate that law, because you will be punished for it. But why it is still bad is that the police officers you are seeing, that you are assessing and are judging as bad, are products of this society. They are products of Nigeria society. So it is the decadence that has permeated our society that's also rubbing off on them, imparting on them. They are not recruited from America. They are not recruited from anywhere. Please, I don't want to be quoted. I want to tell you today. It's a systemic thing. We go out. My God has been, by His grace, we go out on foreign missions, and we are judged to be best. Why? And we come back here and we are judged to be the worst. Why? Because it's a systemic thing. It's a system. Over there, you have everything to function optimally. But here, you have little or nothing to work with. So those are the indubitable facts, and that's why we are coming up with this community policing. 1, I said police personnel are products of the same society. The police also operate within the society and community within the available information, coupled with the laws applicable in the society. And essentially, let me tell you this, as a lawyer and a legal officer, I've always been saying this. We've argued this on so many platforms. A man will violate our law. And it's said that a man presumes the consequence of his action. Is that not, sir? But that same man who has just violated the law will still invoke the law to protect himself. And will be telling you about human rights. The same law he has violated, he will invoke it. And will now twist police. But that's our law. There's nothing we can do about it. There's nothing police can do about it because we are law enforcement agents. We are not to enforce sentiments, emotions. But section 39 of the Nigerian Police Act, because I want to be, now empowers citizens. Empowers citizens. That's where we are coming gradually now to the road because of time. Section 39 of Police Act empowers citizens to arrest. So it's not just police officer now. To arrest offenders once that crime is committed in his presence. Section 39, I say it clearly. To arrest. The only clause there is section 40 of it, which provides that once you arrest, please hand over immediately to the police, to a police officer around, or you take such defendant to the nearest police station. That's section 40. So it's not about police alone now. You can arrest when a crime is committed in your presence, or you reasonably suspect somebody to have committed a crime, an offense that does not require warrant of arrest. It does not require warrant of arrest for a police officer to arrest. So it does also not require warrant of arrest for you to arrest. So you can arrest. That tells you that it is not about police alone. So now let's now go, please, because of time. I said in consonance with the principles and core values of community policing, which are intelligence-led policing, problem-solving approach, active partnership between police and community, provision of quality service, involvement of the public in deciding policing priorities. In the light of the above, it is germane to state or highlight the roles of the citizens. Now we are coming to why we are here. The roles of the citizens. And I've highlighted few of the roles. Number one is provision of intelligence required for intelligence-led policing. Sir, ma'am, we have shifted, police globally has shifted from the orthodox policing that we used to know. I know this may attract uproar, resentment. Police no longer extract information. We don't extract information from suspects. We don't extract. No, we don't do that again. We don't do that. What we do is we these two formation, intelligence, and the only way to get intelligence is through the community. That information that is coined intelligence is through the community. Why? I am from Ondo State. Let me use myself as I am from Ondo State by origin, though born and brought up, buttered in Lagos. I have never worked in Ondo State, but I've worked in Kebbi, I've worked in Kwara, I've worked in Oyo, I've worked in Ogun, Alagbon, now again in Ogun. So what does that suggest is that I am working in not too familiar terrain. Sir, do you agree with me? I am working in not too familiar terrain. I'm not working in my state where I know the cultures, the norms, I know the people. So it is the community, the citizens, the inhabitants who need to provide information to me for me to succeed in Ogun State. For me to succeed in Kebbi, I need information from people who know the nooks and crannies of that state, who knows the criminal elements, the unscrupulous and the scrupulous elements. So that's why it is expected that you provide that information for us to succeed. Intelligence, that's why we coin it intelligence. You provide it without the man knowing. But these days, it is because of our African. I don't want to be known, so that they will not say, I don't want to say I am the one. And that is why crime is thriving in our society. Look at in Ogun State, until we made up our mind and we said we are standing our ground. When I first got to Ogun State, there was this prevalence of defilement, rape, and you discover that not just rape by outsiders, uncles, stepfathers, fathers raping their daughters. And when they come to the station and report, when you want to now proceed against them, you see the mother will say, if I will come and say, please, we don't want case. A man who has gone out of his way to defile his own daughter, is that man still worth living? Hello? Sir, is that man worth living? Is that man a decent man? But because of our society, family ti parapọ̀, family ti ní wọ́n fẹ́ kó lọ sọ́gbà ẹ̀wọ̀n. That man will go back. Tomorrow he will define another one. But if he's been taught the lesson of his life, part of the objective of law is to deterrence. But because we are no longer deterring, we are allowing to fester, and it's becoming something that seems that we cannot cure again. Please, number 2 is change of perception. Change of perception towards police. Please, I want to appeal to us. Whatever, I just told you example of the perception from a highly placed Nigerian, one time Senate president. If a Senate president could have such perception towards police. But I want to say that, please, we are your brothers, we are your sisters. We are for you. It is expected that public should change their perception, the negative perception. Police is no longer police by the government, for the government, and by the government. Because that's what the public see police to be before. Now it is police by the people, for the people, by the people. Police for the people, by the people, and for the people. Thank you, ma'am. So let's change our perception about that, and it will foster good relationship. It's number 3 is provision of facilities. I'm happy. I can see what you have done as a student of this school. For effective and quality service delivery. But I'm sure after today, you will also extend this kind gesture to probably Alakara. I think Alakara is the closest police station here. Please extend this same gesture to us. Do you know why? All over the world, policing is not solely done by government, because government cannot do it alone. Where there is safe community, it is where the community also participates. We have so many divisions in Ogun State that were donated by individuals, communities, individuals also donating I'm not PRO, but the truth is that let's tell us the truth. Don't let us be hypocritical about it any longer. If you begin to help police to donate facilities, dwelling houses for officers to make them comfortable, they said an angry man is an angry man. That's why it leads us to the next, that issue of changing your perception. Please go and know those who are close to police. They've come to realize that the secrecies of police. A man who has been in the sun since morning, he has not taken any food. He's not even sure of whether he's going to see food. When you approach him once in a while, he may be hostile. I have a boss who has retired. Let me give you this practical example. Who has retired now as AIG. Anytime his friend comes to him and say, please, they want to go to DPO Soso place. When he was my CP in Ogun, he will say, why do you need to wait until you have problem before you know your DPO? Maybe I should say this also, sir. I appeal to you. Whoever is the DPO in your area today, after this lecture or after this, go and meet him. Introduce yourself to him. I am engineer Babajide Fashola. Sorry, sir, Ogami. That is my house there. I learned you are my new DPO. I've just come to say hello to you and probably drop my complimentary card. I'll be seeing you from time to time. I'll be coming around anytime I come around. Let me tell you, you have established a relationship. You know you are not coming there for anything. You have established it. Get his number. He gets your number. Any day you call him, your number is already on his phone. Any day you call him, you say, my friend, sir, hope there's no problem. There's problem in my comment. Please, move. The language he will use is that he will not say an anonymous person has just called. Are you hearing me? He will not say an anonymous person has just, he will say my friend has just called me. There's a problem in his community. Is that not different from an anonymous? Hello, sir. Is that not different from anonymous? Because you have established that relationship. You have established that relationship before that problem. Before that problem. You will now see that it will work. Please. The mutual cooperation with the police. I've just said that. Establishing mechanism for accountability. Let me use owó ẹ̀yin àgbà. Owó ẹ̀yin àgbà ní ẹni tí ò dání lókun òwò kò lè pè ní lárugún. Is that true, sir? Is that true of us? Is that true? Ẹ̀yin àgbà ló sọ bẹ́ẹ̀ o. But if tó bá dáyàn lókun òwò, if you have empowered a division with vehicles, with functional walkie-talkie, with welfare, you can always walk to them and say, people, we gave you this vehicle for social reasons. You are not using it. You are not using it. But if you know you have not given any vehicle, and you walk, and he will tell you, I don't have vehicle. But if you know you have 1, 2, 3, named a Korean, donated by a Korean, you say, what are you using it for? Come and account for it. That is part of what community policing is for. Create a mechanism for accountability. So a platform, and that is why we have community development area. These are platforms that you can create. And as you do that, God will help us. I say God will help us. Please, finally, because of my time, I want to please once again recognize, appreciate this privilege. But I want to state it clearly, sir. We can do much more than this in our society. This country is richly and naturally endowed. If we place our priorities right, if we place our priorities either in the government or outside. I've always been saying this. All we talk about is bad leadership. But I want to say that our problem in this country is not bad leadership. It is bad followership. And why? Why have I come with that? The leaders of today were once followers. Hello. They were once followers, and when they were followers, then they were also throwing banters, castigating. But when you get there, overwhelming, they start from our corridors. If I contribute my quota, you contribute your quota, our society will be better for it. And I pray that, because hello sir, we are running out to America, to UK, but sir, I was privileged. Okay, that is part of what I didn't say. I was in Abuja when Bill Clinton visited this country as a president, and I had this interview. You know what he said? Bill Clinton then said, if America is as blessed, naturally blessed as Nigeria, that America will not be where they were. And yet we know that it's America and other countries. But the president, America is saying that if they are as naturally endowed as Nigeria, they will still be better. That means something fundamental is wrong with us. So let's address that fundamental, so that we can be better, and so that we can fulfill the purpose for which God has created this country, and God will help us. Thank you, and God bless.
Another round of applause for our guest lecturer. We've called for standing ovation for our guest lecturer, please. Standing ovation for our guest lecturer. Thank you, CSP Akinroswe. As we proceed further, I will gracefully invite our special guests to kindly go back to their seats as we move on to the next item on this program. Clap for them, please. As a Koreans, I want to believe that we are blessed. We don't know our worth as a Koreans. First and foremost, my name is a Korean Mike Oduni of the E182 set. Our dear guest lecturer talked about making out relationship. That is very important. Now, I just want to tell us a brief story. Sometimes last year, mid last year, as the General Secretary of the E8182 Service Club, many, if not all, the information that goes on our social media platform comes through me. So I woke up one morning and I saw an announcement sent to me to be posted on our platform. 2 announcements. So I stood up. That was around 6:30. I went to my landlord. I just slapped him. Yes, I slapped my landlord. 3 dirty slaps. He was shocked. So he said, Michael, I'll slap you again. He was shocked. So he picked up his phone. He is a friend to our national president, a Korean, Elliot. So he called him and he said, Elliot, that one said, what's happened? He said, your friend slapped me. My immediate reaction is to give him, quote, cute notice. Well, you know what our national president said? Do you know who slapped you? He said, yes, it's my tenant. He said, no. Do you know he's a colleague to the newly crowned Assistant Inspector General of Police in the person of a Korean Rex? And do you know he's a colleague to the newly appointed Commissioner of Police of Ogun State Command, a Korean Biodun Alamutu? The man came back and said, Babola, for the next 2 years, Emma Sanwole. I said, why? He said, yes. I didn't know you are a very big man. I spoke to your colleague, a Korean Elliot, and he said you are a very big man. So I called the national president. I said, what did you tell my landlord? He said he just told him that I'm a colleague of 2 very senior police officers. There and then, I was nominated to be the head of our community policing in my area. So now they collect CDA levies now. So when they said we should contribute money in my set, I don't waste time because I have money coming in. Applause again for our CSP. Now, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished Ekorians, come now to the panel of discussion. It's my singular honor to call on, you see, that's why I was bold enough to slap my landlord. Again, apart from an AIG that came from my set, we also have another distinguished Ekorian in the police force. We're calling on Ekorian, retired Assistant Inspector General of Police, James Corcoran, to the panel set. Welcome, sir. Good afternoon. Also, as we have a blessed school, we're calling on a Korean Kehinde Ebayo, who is the MD of Hogan Gas Limited. I understand his representative is here. Thank you. I will also call on Alaji Shotunde, the chairman, PCRC Idioro Alakara Zone. He is going to be represented by Alaji Owosheni. Please, you are welcome to the panel best. The last but not least to grace the panel seat is another distinguished Ekorian, the immediate past president of Eko Boys High School Old Boys Association, national president. In the person of Ekorian Bola Fashion, I call him Skipo. Guys, in the days, the Ekorian you see in Agbada was our school captain, football team. He also proceeded to captain me in our higher institution, where we played Nipoga together. That is Nigerian Polytechnic Games. He's always been the captain of his side. He's appearing here as the moderator of this panel discussion session. And I've just been informed, reliably informed, that we will also have our guest lecturer, Chief Superintendent of Police, Charles Akinrosoi, to join the panelists. I will now hand over to the moderator, Ekorian Fashioner, to conclude the program.
Thank you very much. Indomino. Indomino. Yeah, we are charged. Let me, on behalf of Ekoba and Eko Boys High School teachers and students, thank our guest lecturer formally for the incisive lecture. For me, I've learned quite a number of things today, and I'd like to request our discussants to please let us situate this discussion within Eko Boys High School premises and the environs. Whatever we are discussing, let us look at where we are now, the Alakara police station, and our environs. So everything that the lecturer had highlighted, I want us to look at it in that respect. So I'd like to, with the permission of Alaji, I'd like to start the discussion from my senior, the retired AIG. I'd like him to tell us, given his experience working in the police service for so long, the issue of community policing and the role of us as citizens. In this case, community policing in and around Mushi and the role of Eko Boys High School, principal, teachers, students, old boys.
Well, thank you so much, my immediate past national president. I also want to recognize all the panelists as well as our distinguished seniors and our colleagues, particularly the old boys, and also our students, our wonderful students, the future of tomorrow. I want to appreciate you, and honestly, I want to say that particularly when we think of the very, very comprehensive lecture which the presenter has given, he has touched so many areas that has to do with community policing. And of course, some of us know what, when people mention Mushin, you know, you have an impression of what people think of. I mean, we're talking now in terms of maybe the crowd and then the categories of street urchins and what have you in the environment. And of course, we want to thank God that, in fact, Euba High School at that time was like a safe haven. I'm talking about the school compound, particularly with regards to the nature of teachers we had at that time and the discipline which they maintained, up to even securing the environment. So I want to look at it that when we are talking about community policing, just like the presenter said, we've got to be able to empower the division that is close to us. Like he mentioned, it's specifically even mentioned Alakara and the Olorun and what have you. We've got to be able to even have a relationship with them, either as old students or as even school authority. And I'm now speaking even directly to even the principal of the school and the rest of it. I know they have their connection with them, they have a relationship with them. But it should not just be limited to the issue of I want security, I want protection. It should also be the issue of, listen, we are here to help you. First, the police is to extend their hand of fellowship to us here. And then they should also respond positively to tell us that, no, we too must support you for the peace of the area. Let me stop there so that others can contribute. Thank you so much, Mr. Moderator.
Thank you very much. I'd like to go to Korean Kennedy. You have been involved in organ guards, and I'm sure you didn't only just get there by the virtue of being an Korean. You must have had some form of formal education and experiences that gave you this. How do you situate the issue of interrelationship and collaboration with the police?
Thank you so much, sir. The immediate national president of Euba, the current president, my greetings to the current president, the POT, and the current students. I am Kennedy Adebayo, the current general secretary of the E94 set. I grew up in this area, was born, and I was raised in Mushin, Ojo Street here. And when we talk about policing, when we talk about South, when we talk about community, I know what we're talking about. Of course, when we talk about safety, by the virtue of me being the MD of Organ Guards, a security company that has been in operation for over 40 years, I know what we're talking about. When we talk about community policing also, I know what it means. Policing simply is the maintenance of law and order in a community. While community refers to the people staying in a locality with similar attributes. So when we talk about community policing, we're talking about the collaboration between the police and the community. When we talk about the community, we are talking about the people staying in a locality. Now, policing advanced because it became apparent that police can no longer continue to be the main or the sole custodian of law and order, because police cannot be everywhere. They seek information, they need information from the community, they need intelligence to be able to perform better, and they cannot be everywhere. So that was what brought about this community police. It's an advancement in policing, and it is done everywhere. I would say here that the most important role as a citizen that you can play to help the community policing thing is being law-abiding yourself. If you are law-abiding, then police will have less to do. All these advancements, we were talking about doing this, doing that, is because a lot of the people staying in the community are not law-abiding. If majority of us are law-abiding, then we'll have less crimes to deal with. Let me also let us know that both the criminals, and the people that are offended, that is the victims, stay in the community. So you, as the would-be victim, is you are closer to the criminal than even the police. Because the person that will hurt you is that person that is very close to you. Closer to you than the police can ever be. So you are closer to your community, you are closer to environment, you are in the best position to let the police know what is happening in your surroundings. Police cannot know everything. And I would indulge us also to be aware of our surroundings. Wherever you stay, be aware of what is happening there. And that's what we bring to this saying that says, see something, say something. Anything that you see happening in your environment, relate it to the police, to the nearest police station that is to your house, to your community. Let them come in and perform their duties. So as a community member also, we need to be friendly with the police. We need to collaborate with them. We need to help them to do their job. That is why we have other security agencies like security companies. We now have the civil defense, the LNLC. Security companies have guards that are community members too. I would say here that having worked in a security company for so many years, I know that the guards that these security companies have are very close to the community, closer to the community than even the police. That is why we have relationships with a lot of police stations. So we are closer to them than the police. We get information from them that we relate to the police. We arrest too, and we do all sorts of things to help the police. So community policing, which is the collaboration between the police and the community, is something that we cannot do without. It helps. It is done here. It is done everywhere in the world. At least it is something that we cannot do without. So that's what I have to say for now.
I'd like to find out, Alhaji, when we talk about community and the police community relations committee definitely plays a very big role. How does that committee work with institutions like a Cowboys High School that is within the community? How does this kind of institution benefit from the activities of the PCRC?
Good afternoon, the National President, the BOT, the ECOBANS, ladies and gentlemen. This is Alhaji Usheni, DGS PCRC Alakara, Idioro. Well, to buttress the functions of the police, that's why we have the establishment of PCRC. PCRC bridge the link between the police and the citizen. That we just have to work together. Police alone cannot do it, right? We dispose, we give them the information wherever there's any criminal activities is going on. Before, in this school, many things happen, but with the help of the community and the PCLC, we try to cope some things. Equally in motion, 5-7 years ago, whereby we have the courts fighting each other. It was the functions and activities of the PCLC that helped us to cope the scenario by that. Because that time there was burning of houses and everything. That's exactly 2017. Sir, aside from that, the PCRC has an informant to the police. Police cannot do it alone, my dear brother and sister. They know. My CSP have said it before. I just want to buttress it. They cannot do it alone. Nigeria's situation now is, if you see something, you say something for protection of life and property. Sir, in the olden days, now what is happening now is kidnapping. Kidnapping are just not just started. It has started before I was born. Then it was bomo. It was bomo. It started before I was born. But now they have graduated to bagbalagba. Now they have turned it, that name should be changed. Not kidnapping again. I don't know the name you can give us. SOG Batunde. I call them and they intervene. Sir, not only on the streets of community, they work in the schools as well. We have courses in primary and secondary school, maybe you don't know. We have courses in secondary school as at now. We are about the teachers and principal and teachers have to work against. You have to guide the children. They don't know. You understand? But the intervention of PCRC, we are working on it.
At least last month there was Peace House School Club established last month precisely at Lagos, which I was there. They want to teach them about the security and the functions of the Peace House to provide peace for the community. So that is just it. Let me just spread out there and we'll go further by then.
Our guest lecturer, one issue that has resonated with all the discussants is about issue of seeing something and saying something. And when you look at that, it situates with the issue of adopting community partnership. Now, there is some usual challenge with this partnership. Some people are afraid. If I give information to the police about somebody that I suspect, like you said in your lecture, I hope they are not going to point at me. How do you handle issues like that? How do you give the community the confidence to be able to provide the intelligence that the police requires without putting themselves in danger?
Thank you very much. Once again, I want to appreciate the Koreans, because I'm still humbled by the applause and everything given to a little boy like me. Please, I want to state this also. You see, I said it when I was delivering that lecture that because of our approach to life, we allow crime to fester. Because we think we are secured. It has happened to Mr. A, it has not happened to me. But let me say it. Let me also say this again. I remember, though I'm not a politician, but we are all political animals. So once in a while you listen to news. I remember when Idi Agbon was interviewed after the annulment of June 12th. When he was interviewed after he's been in oblivion for a long time. They now asked him, they said, what do you have to say about Abiola and his annulment? He said Abiola's case could be likened to a man who was riding on a tiger. And the tiger was devouring people. And was enjoying it. He said until suddenly there was nobody to devour again. And the tiger was hungry. He now look up and say, this is still a prey. That was how he now devoured the man. He said Abiola has been watching people plan coup, annul election, do this, do that, and he was enjoying it. He never knew that one day it will be his turn. You see, we have so many. I'm not any Euba, but I'm not saying you want to die this time. My immediate speaker said one thing that is germane. But I want to also tell you that it is still part of the misconception we are still carried about. It's not until you get DPO. The Nigerian police of today has gone beyond that. There are many constables, corporals, inspectors who are more responsible than CSP, than one CSP or the other. So you can inform anybody. And then there are even numbers in all the commands. If you want to remain anonymous, there are numbers that you can call. If you get 2 pieces, they will tell you there are numbers that you can call and inform. Up to 4 seconds. Every DPO, if you go to any division, you will see the DPO's number. So you don't need to even get to the DPO. You see the DPO's number. You are likely to see the DCO's number, the principal officers that you can always call and give your information. It's not until you go and meet the person one-on-one. And let me also conclude with this. If you give any officer information and he or she divulges such information, please let us know. We have mechanism for that. That is breach of oath of allegiance. I said it and I want to say it again. I stand to be corrected. I don't think, as bad as police, you think police is still one of the pride of this nation when it comes to discipline our officers. Even when you see a policeman being disciplined, you will even be the one that will be begging for him. You think your men are detained in the cell. Go and see a policeman detained in the cell. You will be the one appealing that, please. Many times, victims of police brutality are always the one coming back to now beg your authority that, please, no. So please, let's change that mindset. Let's begin to partner and give valuable information for us to perform.
Sir, I want you to enlighten us a little more. We'll come to them. About offender against peace. In the Police Act, it talks about offender against peace. That was what he said in the lecture, that not against the law, that anybody that does anything against the peace of the environment. Tell us a little more about that.
Yes, another name for the police is peace officers. Peace officers. And it's obvious that, because let me just connect it with the last comment of our presenter. There is a disconnect between the police and the society, and it has a historical antecedent. It has a historical antecedent. First, the antecedent started even with the colonial era. Colonial era, where our colonialists actually used the police for their own ulterior motives. And that name was bastardized because the citizens were oppressed by virtue of the biddings of the colonial masters who really wanted to suppress the psyche of the people to get their way. That transcended into independence. And I tell you, that psyche continued, and with all due respect, even when the military era came, it wasn't, because the military era, it wasn't a democratic situation. It was a regime of force, and the police was part of it. So, first and foremost, let us go back to the original concept of policing, which means peace officers. Why do you think, in spite of the fact that there is no perfect police anywhere in the world, why do you think, for example, in the UK, citizens give information freely to the police? It is because of the general concept of policing that has been well entrenched and established in that society. Just like the presenter said and every other person, we must now start a reorientation to change that psyche so that we will now see the police as our friends, peace officers. There is indeed a trust deficit between the police and members of the public. And this kind of forum is where we can really encourage the reverse. Thank you.
Before I go to the next question, I would like to take like 3 or 4 questions, one from this side, one from the middle, and then 2 from here. But first, I'd like the MD of Organ Guards to tell us, how do we change the people's perception of the police, going by what Ekoria Kokrik had just said?
Thank you so much, sir. To change the people's perception of the police is easy. But first, I would like to say that the police on their own part has to work on themselves, because the public distrust of the police is something on an alarming level. Because a lot of people don't believe in the police. A lot of situations have happened where people have seen something, have said something, at the end of the day, it has come to fall back on them. A lot of times when you try to arrest somebody, you take such offender to the police station, you are detained yourself. A lot of situations like this happen that makes citizens to not have that trust in the police. So the perception of people on the police can be changed if the police work on themselves too, and then of course people will start to believe in them. Thank you.
Can we take questions or observations from the public? Korean Badebo, please come forward. PRO. Please introduce yourself and make your question brisk.
Korean Badebo Stephen Oladipo, E79. I want to appreciate our guest speaker, discussant, and our Oga PCRC. The observation I have is about the trust issue with the police and the community. I had a very recent experience. Just 2 days back, I was at Zone 2 in Ikoyi. You see, when the community is trying to get things done right, but the police seems to have other interests. And the interests are more like they are expecting some kind of support, financial support, just to say it, financial support. But when you fail to give that, it's like the police are not ready to do what you are asking for. Now take the case that somebody sold a fraudulent property, and you now make a report to the police that, I've been swindled, and this is my case. Now the police is telling you, for them to get to that person, you need to raise some funds for us to go there. How do you now begin to have trust in such police when you take a case to them in future that there is something happening in my community, like the encroachment of miscreants into community? They are not ghosts. They have parents. When they come, their parents know them. But you cannot go because their parents have relationship with police. They already know how to settle police. So how do you now trust the police that we want to go and report people to? Thank you.
My Korean, is it Bala? Badebo, thank you so much. I really appreciate your very, very objective position. First, you must appreciate the fact that, and we are talking on point of reality this time around, and we are not missing words. The police is supposed to carry out investigation, but the police officer will not use his own salary to carry out investigation. And you should be able to ask him, how much does the government provide for police to carry out effective investigation? Maybe our presenter can tell you with regards to, because he is at the criminal investigation department, that's where the legal department is. How much does his AC or DC, as the case may be, get either from his state headquarters or from Abuja to carry out these investigations? So the police will not say, I will not go on investigation, but you say, please, can you assist with so that we can effectively carry out your investigation? So that one is settled. Now, with regards to the issue of trust deficit, it is normal. Let me just quickly chip in one thing. When I was to enroll as an officer, and I told my parents that I was going to the police, number one, my mother did not want me to do that, but I was determined. And I was determined by virtue of an experience I had, a bitter and an encouraging one. In this Sabo police station, I was arrested for breaking the odd and even regulation. And I was kept behind the counter. I was indeed under 18 when I was driving my parents' vehicle. And I thought I was in trouble. And I asked, can you please let me use your phone? They looked at me, went away, the ones that I met. And after a while, they will also come and taunt me. But somebody came in along the line, and I saw that they gave him so much respect. And the man asked, what is this young man doing in this place? I said, yes, he broke the order and even the regulation, the rest of it. And then the man just looked at me, probably because he felt I was young. He now warned me that, look, listen, young man, be careful. Please give him his key and go. And that was what made me to be determined that I would enroll at least as a police officer. And even when I did that and was there, so many people distanced themselves from me because they said, this man. So the truth is this, that we are your own children. We are your own children. I'm talking about for the old boys. Young Koreans, the best job in this world is policing. I'm telling you. And that's why you see me stand tall today. Because I am the real police officer. Others who are not conforming to what is to expectation are the fakes. We are the real police officers. So make up your mind to pick up a career as a police officer. Give yourselves a round of applause.
My name is Barrister Olawole Famakinwa. I'm a member of the E79 set, and I'm very, very happy to be here today. I would like to acknowledge our moderator, our presenter here today. You've given a very, very brilliant address that's very, very relevant to here. And the quality of what you actually started out with and that went through, I only hope that that paper that you gave to us can be sent as a reminder to the students of the police college to remind them of why they are policemen. Because you actually gave us the breakdown why you're a policeman, what they are doing. Because they need to be reminded of what they are doing. Senior, the retired, you actually took my storm because I was about to say that we really need the police to liaise with the school so that there may be a system of cadets. I don't know if they have cadets to go to the police, spend some time there, and see what actually happens. So they know the difference between crime and offending. Because when I look at what we are doing now, and I've spent 27 years in law enforcement in England, this is not the way to do it. Our officers are not well supported, maybe their recruitment, their training, and maybe there's the pay structure is such that the policemen look to others. And that is why I think we have too many of them. Please, you have too many of them around. And there's no way you can monitor. A progress of an officer should depend on the quality of his cases. That's how I'm judged. How many convictions I get. The quality of my performance in court. That's what my seniors are looking. What is the turnover of my cases? And that times my movement up the post. And I did 27 years. My last 12 was money laundering cases, where you seize property, detain them, and then forfeit them. And that's why I think the quality of our officers, I don't mind if you're going to get a lawyer to man the road, you don't even need them to be at the street. So I will say, thank you very much for the address. We really welcome it. And our role today about empowering the communities to let our young ones, the young Koreans, to join the force so that we can support them. In my local area in the south, where I come from, we built a civil defense post for the civil defense people there, and the police use it. So I would want people in their own local PCLs or whatever to support the police. And I know going back now, when I go back to the south in the next few days, I'll think of more things to do for the police in my area. God bless you.
In domino, I jotted quite a few points, which I will run into as I speak on. But let me first appreciate the initiative and the plan for this kind of lecture at this material time. And also recognize the capacity of those who have taken strategic position of moderating, as well as the brilliant police officer that the CSP that has delivered the paper. That's a well-loaded paper. I will employ him, like the other speaker, to get that paper a bit streamlined and make it available references to young Koreans and indeed to some of your police posts. The last speaker talked about the quality. I take it that when AIG Corcrick was doing the last advert, asking us to look at the police as an ultimate position for the young ones. Yes, I agree with you. But I think you were looking at it from the perspective of the new reform police structure in Nigeria. Those of us who have actually had occasion to move around police posts, police stations, individuals, and etc., we have a load of observations. We have a load of reform agenda that they must fulfill before most people will be there. You are a fine gentleman. Your pedigree is fantastic. I won, in my days, I won, I think, to the best graduating student of my set. So from that pedigree, you're a fine gentleman. You went into the police with an agenda, well structured. It's not those who went in from the farm or from the hustle of the main road and joined the police and see the police as an avenue for extraction. So I would say that, yes, we will consider the police force as an ultimate thing if the reform is nationalistic, is rigid, and is consistent with standard practice all over the world. Most of us that have traveled away from this country, we know how we have been treated, apart from where you have racial discrimination just because of your color and creed. But where you are just treated as an ordinary citizen. I was a young student in England, and I saw one or two policemen trying to harass me. They were civil, and I recognized their civility and was apologetic. But while doing so, they were warning, and then they let me go. But I now realized that they were hooked to so many police posts within that vicinity, waiting for me to be violent. But I remember I came here to study, not to be violent. So we enjoy those things. We want to see that here. Some of your police members, you need to be there as an observer. They still need some decorum. They need some passion. They need to believe that they are Nigerians. They need to believe that they are not an extraction of one tribe or the other. Just see themselves as one Nigerian. So when we do that, and it must be done very well, then you come into unfortunate utilization of the police force in the political process of the country. You find policemen running after some well-known criminals, well-acknowledged criminals, and you will have posted more than 10 people, 10 policemen around them, and you'll be feeding fat, protecting him from
environmental nuisance that is committing. I think that's an area the police must address. We know some people, they are criminals. We know some people are not after the good of the country. We know some people have hidden agenda about one Nigeria. But you people will give them protection beyond reasonable doubt. When it is well defined, create an environment for police. Lately, we feel that the police ranks that we all grew up, we are all not aware whether the government or the authorities that destroyed those police stations have made any provision for up and coming. That is the cost of the property in a metropolitan city like Lagos. What is the government doing to ensure that they live well? If they don't live well, perform well. Tell that. I will again want to thank AIG Call Creek. He has made a very unique commitment while this process was on. Dr. Kola Ibrahim and myself would recognize the fact that this is a chair table, not a high table. And there's a need for a table so that when you sit down as a presenter or moderator or chairman, you don't bend down, you're about to sit right and be comfortable to deliver your message. So he has, please put your hands together for him. He has agreed to provide that beautiful ebony table. Thank you so much. Put your hands together. Put your hands together. Thank you, Mr. Corcoran. God bless you. As you do this, we'll continue. So there are a lot of questions put through, but I want to thank you for your moderation. This will come on, and the police officer, retired AIG, and other retired AIG of Eco Boys High School extraction, because he is not the only one. We know others. Please put your hands together, put your heads together, and help us reform the police. Thank you.
Please, I just want to re-emphasize one thing that I want us to also know. Just like my boss said, let me say this. Until we change our mindset as to who police officers are. I am here today jumping, rising and falling before you. But let me tell you that, just like he said, I came into the force because I lost my dad when he was young, when we were young. My mom didn't know when I joined the force. You can see the mentality. The day my dad's tailor saw me in Ijebugo and said, Olumide, Olopa, ṣé mọ́mì mọ̀? I said, ẹjọ́ ẹ má jẹ́ kí mọ́mì mọ̀ o. He went back. That was weekend on Saturday. Fortunately for me, unfortunately rather, I was in police uniform. If I had been in Mufti, I would have pretended as if I came there so there was no. Do you know that Monday my mom and my uncle were in Ijebugo? You say, what? Olopa. And my uncle, I'm sure, sir, probably you will know him. He was on me. Kola, he was on me. Saw me and said, Iku Bolaje. Because my dad trained him. And he said, because he joined police, my dad disowned him. So how much more is biology to him? But why? Because one. Because part of what we should try and do is that, I remember my first investigation report that I wrote as ASP to my CP then, Anegbode. When Anegbode now read it, Anegbode said, this is too voluminous. One eye general. Have you ever seen such police report? And I said, sir, with due respect, sir, if you permit me to say this, I don't think what was the standard when we were not having graduates in the police should still remain the standard now that we have PhD holders, professors, even in the police. We looked at it. I said, so, for what must to be regarded as moribund, I think we should also evolve. Today, there are constables in the police who are PhD holders. I am saying this because I have about 3 of them around me. Constables who are PhD holders. But when you see them outside, you still regard them as misfits. as miscreants, as threats. Anytime we want to, my boss said we should please, anytime there's recruitment exercise, allow your best products, your children to come and join. Don't see police as last resort, because that is part of what is affecting us. And that you are saying police are not well trained, they are not, because our children are what don't. Before I went for for enlistment, it was after I had tried oil company, banks, and I was not given employment. That's when I ran to police. And that should not be. In UK, we all know, we go out. In UK, in Western world, it's a pride to be a police officer. It's not even for any, it's not for commoners. And until we get to that level also in Nigeria, that's when we'll be able to get the best out of the police. Please, thank you.
We have some participants online and they also want to ask questions. So the PRO will read them out.
Thank you, sir. Before I proceed to the questions asked by one of our virtual audience online, I would like to ask just this particular question from our distinguished CSP. I have had this argument regarding the use of approved arms. Approved arms, gone for individuals that apply for such. So the argument has been that the fact that an approved arm is issued to someone does not confer the right to that person to kill whosoever he felt is a threat to him. To kill, yes. So the argument was that you are just meant to use that particular arm, gun or whatever, to disarm. So I wanted to ask, is it true that if you approve a gun for an individual now, the only thing he could do with that gun is just to disarm? But if the threat that is coming to him is actually aiming at ending his life, as a person, don't I have the right to also attack that particular individual? So that's my question about. Then for the virtual audience, is an Ekorian Oluwagunwa Ibirogba. He said, lovely session, sir. Okay, sir. All right. All right. I just felt maybe I should maybe to you as well. All right, sir.
Please, the issue of arms has to do with law. And you see, if you are armed and you think there's a threat to your life, what the law will now ask you is that threat commensurate with the action. Because like I said, by His grace, I am a lawyer. If a man who just came to you now, let me be practical, who just came to you and probably assaulted you, or released word of threat to you, not armed, and you just decide to go into your room and say, because I have armed, licensed, and you pick your gun, you have committed murder, plain. So it is not just using the arm, the same way that it applies to police. There are occasions when police officers can use arm and be exculpated from any blame. The same thing. The fact that you are armed, you have your license, does not mean you use it when it's not commensurate. I think that's clear.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for that response. So the other question from the Egorian that is watching this particular session online, Ekorian Oluwagunwa Ibiroga, is of the E89 set. He said, this is a lovely session, sir. And I have a question for the guest lecturer. He said, how do we undo issues of police brutality and high-handedness and the psyche of community because of perceived vindictiveness? That how do we undo that? That's the question. Let's answer.
I'm comfortable standing up. Is it this? Permission. The issue of high-handedness. If you read my paper, it's just because of time. I stated there that government in recent times are being judged by actions of police, and that's what led to NSAS and head bad governance. Brutality, we have standard of operation. Brutality is not part of our standard of operation. That was why I said the issue of extracting statement is not even allowed again in the force. So if there's any act of brutality towards any of, please report. But let me also state this clearly. Because at times what you call brutality is not brutality in the strict sense of it. If a policeman comes to you, introduce himself, I am Inspector this blah 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 from Social Division, and introduce and flags his ID card and say, please, you are needed at the police station because there's an allegation made against you. And the next thing, I know people will say it's not possible, but I have witnessed it. The next thing, such person call crowd and say, come on, and the crowd now come and say, you are not taking him away. You are not taking him away. Oh, le mulambi yo, oh le mulo, and come and share you. And the policeman said, we are taking him away. And apply minimum force to take him away. And you now say it's brutality. That's not brutality. That's not brutality. So let's mind how we also react. Because when you react negatively, you are likely to get a negative response from the police officer. Like I want to round up on this note that, and get this in your mind when you are approaching the police. Because like they're saying that a man's castle is a man's house is his castle. If you are coming to my office and you have the mindset that I am a second citizen, and you address me as second citizen, you are not likely to get the best from me. But if you come to me and see me as human being like you, and you address me, you are likely to get the best from me, because I will see you as a friend, I will address you as a friend, I'll be friendly to you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Can we please, we cannot continue with this, gentlemen. We have some projects to commission and our guests are already here. While thanking the members of the panel on your behalf, I have some takeaways for us. On this topic, I want to leave us with what happens to having funds like they have in Lagos State, the Security Trust Fund, that is not managed by the government. We can do similar things at our local levels. Get people, contribute funds voluntarily to support the security agencies around us. For those who are well endowed financially, how about setting up foundations to support security around us? What about the police itself, upping the ante in the kind of people that can be taken to the police? Maybe a minimum of OND, so that the police force is not for all, Dick and Harry. Those are things that I think we need to start thinking about. But as for the need for us as community to play our role in getting the police to protect us, I think it is just whether we like to do it or not. How many are the number of policemen to the population of Nigeria? Except we get involved as community, we cannot expect any magic from the police. On this note, I want to thank the National Executive of ECOBA, Ecorians in general, the authorities of the school, our special guests, ladies and gentlemen, thank you and God bless.
Thank you very much, Ekori and Fashino, for the wonderful job in moderating that session. Thank you all our panelists. We thank you all. Thank you, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished Ekorians, there is another item we want to get through very quickly. The Eko Boys High School Old Boys Association has set aside some award to non-Ekorians who have distinguished themselves in partnership with the association to deliver excellence, develop the school, our alma mater, over the years. I'm going to call on two key members of the National ESCO who are going to present these awards to the nominees. Engineer, please.
Euba. Easy motion tourist, Abba tourist. Ká má jìyà ká tó lọ láyé, ká má mọ̀ṣì ká tó lọ láyé. Lójú mi, wọ́n tilẹ̀kùn mọ́mọ́ sílé. Lójú rẹ̀, wọ́n tilẹ̀kùn mọ́mọ́ sílé. Wọ́n wá kígbe.
Okay, sir. In Domino, we want to use this opportunity to appreciate the representative of the family of our former principal, Pa Adefule, in whose name we actually constructed the E79 Pa Adefule gate. So the representative of the family, they are here with us in this gathering, and they are Dr. Adebayo Adefule. We would like to see you for recognition, sir. If you are here, thank you for coming, sir. Dr. Adebayo Adefule, thank you for coming. We also have Miss Jide Adefule. He's also here in our gathering here. Thank you for coming to our campus here. We also have Engineer Adeyemi Adefule. He's also in our gathering here. Thank you, sir. We honor you. So we'll quickly proceed with the event here.
As I said earlier, we have the National ESCO have some awards for non-Ekorians that have part the association over the years in delivering excellence to the school. I will have to call on two of our BOT to conduct the awards in the persons of Engineer Funsho Owoyemi, Otuba Funsho Owoyemi, kindly step forward, sir, and Engineer Kola Ibiroba.
Dr. Sir Otuba Kolawole Ibirogba.
Thank you, sir. Hello? First on the list of the recipients, we have our CSP, Charles Akinrosoye, to come forward for to receive his award, please.
We really, on behalf of on behalf of members of the Board of Trustees and the management of Euba School Old Boys Association, we appreciate you. We thank you for taking the time. And we thank you for your immense support to our alma mater, our grade school. God will continue to bless. Appreciate you. Thanks so much.
Thank you, sir. The next on the list is the chairman, PCRC Idioro Alakara Zone, in the person of Laji Shotunde. Kindly step forward, sir.
Alaji Shotunde. R.O. Shotunde. Yes. On behalf of the Board of Trustees of this grade school and the current management of the school, teachers and students, I want to present this commemorative plaque to you to show appreciation for all you have done selflessly, all for humanity, and ask that God continue to strengthen you and make you a good influence on your community. Thank you. God bless you. Alaji Shotunde.
Thank you very much. Yes. I appreciate you.
Right. Okay.
Thank you. God bless you. Thank you very much. God Almighty, God be
Next on the list is Mr. Tajuddin Adebanjo, who is the crime correspondent of Nation newspaper, but we will call on Ekorian Bola Fashino to receive on his behalf. The next award is for Tajuddin Adebanjo, but to be received on his behalf by Ekorian Bola Fashino, the immediate past president of Euba.
Yes. Ekorian Fashino, our wonderful colleague and former president of Euba itself, you've done wonderfully well. You created a template that we are following today, and to the joy of everyone, we are happy you are still doing this. On behalf of the Board of Trustees, the management, the staff and teachers, the staff and students of this grade school, we want to present this to Alhaji Tajuddin Adebanjo, whom you are presenting. Congratulations.
Next on the list is also we're giving award to Eco Boys High School senior, and we have the principal here, to receive it on the behalf of Eco Boys Senior School.
Mr. Amo, you are so modest. I didn't even know you are a principal. Thanks for a wonderful job. I must say you are a lucky man because under you, you met a lot of development in this school. This school was totally gone. Totally gone. Our past president, Machino, started this revolution. Then my brother here, and the man looking at me at the back, and this great team, followed it up. I must not forget to thank Tito and North American President Vidi Okunobi there. We've all done a wonderful job, and we are so proud of this school. Please, you need to keep the torch burning. We want to see 100% in the school side. And on behalf of members of the Board of Trustees and the entire executive of the Ekobosai School, I want to appreciate you. I want to thank you. Keep the fire burning. Thanks so much. Congratulations.
Thank you. We also have an award for Eco Boys High School Junior.
Thank you.
Represented here by their principal, Mr. Ayola Fashola. Eco Boys High School Junior.
Junior school, okay. He's also a principal.
So does the principal.
Is he around? Okay. Oh my God. Thank you for your modesty. Right. Well, my colleague has said it, member of the Board of Trustees. You were chosen in the sense that your period has witnessed gargantuan development in this school. And the history will not be completed if your names are not written in gold for pivoting it and for driving the initiatives. We want to thank you on behalf of the Board of Trustees, the management, the student body of the ECOBA, and of course your members and your students, to honor you and appreciate this gesture by presenting you this for future reference and for encouragement to do more and bring more laurels to this school. Thank you so much, and God bless you. Here you are. Congratulations, congratulations, congratulations. Thank you.
We are gradually winding down. To give the vote of thanks and closing remarks, I call on Ekoria Jide Fashola, a member of the planning committee.
In domino.
Confidimus.
In domino.
Confidimus.
In domino.
Confidimus.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. We are all Ekorians. If you look at the program, it says the chairman of the planning committee. I'm not the chairman of the planning committee, but I'm representing the chairman of that committee. And I'm reading the speech. It says, ladies and gentlemen, as we draw the curtain on this remarkable occasion, it is with a deep sense of gratitude and fulfillment that I deliver this closing remark and vote of thanks for the third Reverend Euba Memorial Lecture. First and foremost, let me appreciate our distinguished speaker, who had graced us with his wealth of knowledge and insight. His thorough exploration of today's topic has not only honored the legacy of Reverend Euba, but has also provided us with profound reflections and actionable ideas that resonate with our goals and community. CSP, I want to, on behalf of everybody, say a very big thank you to you. Some of these boys that will join the police in future, I'm sure we'll meet you as the IG. By the grace of Almighty God. To our esteemed panelists, we are deeply grateful for your engaging and thought-provoking discussion. You have enriched the discourse with your diverse perspectives and added a layer of depth that has truly illuminated the themes of this event. Your contributions have encouraged us to think ethically and continue these important conversations beyond today. I would also like to express my sincere appreciation to our organizing committee, sponsors, and all those who work tirelessly behind the scene to ensure the success of this event. Your dedication and commitment to the ECOBA mission are evident in the seamless execution of today's program. Finally, to all our attendees, both in person and virtually, thank you for your presence, your attention, and your active participation. Your engagement gives life to the vision behind this lecture series and ensures that Reverend Euba's legacy continues to inspire generations. As we live here today, let us carry forward the wisdom we have gained, strengthen in our resolve to build a better, more impactful future. Thank you all and safe travels. Ekorian Adeshola Babatunde, Chairman, Anniversary Committee. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. To bring the program to a close, I will call on a Korean Fashional Latif to give us the closing prayer.
Indomino, distinguished personalities, I stand on all existing protocol. We want to thank Almighty Allah for His benevolence, for His mercy and sustenance, and for His guidance from beginning to the end of this program. We want to thank Almighty Allah for giving us all it takes to do a beautiful program today. And we want to also seek Allah's guidance for the remaining programs to make it a successful one. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Rabbana atina fi dunya hasanatan wa fil akhirati hasanatan wa qina azabannar. Subhana rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifun wa salamun alal mursalin alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Takbir.
Thank you very much, a Korean Fashional. Before we sing the fourth stanza of the school song, we just want to inform all our invited guests, Koreans past and present, that immediately after the school song, we will all move down to the E-gate. We commence the commissioning of our laudable projects. So kindly stand up now for the school stanza, the fourth stanza, please. 1, 2, 3, go. O God of robots and Euba, may that this smoldering ember of a boys high school, abiding infant forever, into order in flame. Yes, in domino, confidimus, forever shall know a song. In domino, confidimus, shall remain forevermore the motor of Eco Boys High School. Of school. Thank you, and thank you very much.
All right. Good evening, Ecuadorians. Let's move towards the Patrimoine Gate for commissioning.
Lọ́wọ́ rẹ̀ rẹ̀ Euba tó fún wa ní ẹ̀kọ́ tó dájú. Rẹ̀ Euba o bàbá fẹ́ padà lọ́jọ́ kọjọ́. Torí ìgbà wà dọ́wọ́ rẹ̀ bàbá mọ ẹ̀mí mímọ́ o. Ìgbà wà dọ́wọ́ rẹ̀ bàbá mọ ẹ̀mí mímọ́ o. Èkóbá national executive látòrí olórí wa president. Èkóríà ọ̀dọ̀fin Káyọ̀dé bíi Eliot aka ẹ̀rù jẹ̀jẹ̀ yẹ́dùn wo máa gbé ẹ bàbá. Bá mi tọ́jú Korean engineer Túndé Adéṣọlá vice president one àwòrán engineer Korean yẹ kó balòdì Tito Gani Yumi Lóròdé Mr Project VP2 ọlọ́lágbájú mọ̀ tiwa ni ṣó ń bá mi tọ́jú engineer mìíràn tẹ̀tẹ̀ yìí Korean Babátúndé Ròṣìkòjù general secretary Euba national executive ẹ bá mi tọ́jú Korean doctor mi ò Henry àti olùyẹ mo bá ròde Dr. Heat welfare secretary jẹ́nu mo máa pè ẹ́ ṣẹ́ ń bá mi tọ́jú Korean bèbí tọpẹ́ olúwàbíyì national PRO publicity ẹ tọ́jú Korean mi senior superintendent apostle Adébísí Radékẹyẹ o treasurer Korean Babátúndé olódèrò fúnta financial secretary mi máa dàgbòjọ àmì ìtọ́jú Korean reverend Adésàdùrà Abíọ́dún Korean Abíọ́dún Kazi Abúgbò ọ̀dọ̀lámọ̀bàròdé AGS2 yẹ̀wò mà Korean olùgbé Kásárìbù social secretary mi máa dàgbòjọ gọ̀jọ.